My wife and I have had a lot of visitors in our home in the month of January. The Northerners come south thinking this is going to be, like going to Florida in the summertime. But we had this long cold spell and lots of rain, which we're not accustomed to it. And yet, it was a lot better than the snow and cold that they were experiencing up north. So they had I was feeling sad, but they were happy, and I was grateful for that. But then, as soon as this month comes along, February, my neighbor from up north, he calls, he says, Mike, I'm coming down to watch my nephew, since I have no children, to play hardball. He's going to the Arizona Christian University here in Phoenix, and I want to watch him. And so he got off the plane, he met me, and he says, we're going to watch the game at 6:30. Well, that night, it got down to almost freezing. And we went and we were looking for where the place was. We got there, and then they moved it to 7:30. Then they moved it to 8:30. Then they moved it to 9:30. And so at the ball game, hardball against some teams in Florida that came here playing this tournament. And he was playing second base. My neighbor thought he was going to Florida, so he didn't bring anything to keep warm. Now he shaves his head, and he and I were so cold, and everybody else on these metal bleachers, but I was surprised how many parents and friends and relatives were watching. The game ended at 2 o'clock in the morning. Can you imagine? But there was love in the hearts of everybody who was in those stands. They hung around. They were cheering. They were rooting as if it was a summertime experience. And I'm just saying, what I experienced there that night was the love of my neighbor up north, who 21 years ago we met each other. He came down to see his nephew and to cheer him on. When we have that attitude in life, it's amazing what we can take. We can take a lot of bad. And I'm going to bend over and pick up something, because my neighbor, when he left, he stayed in our house for like 5 days, maybe 4 nights. And he left a nice bouquet of flowers, a plant, calla lilies, and then he had this card there, and the card goes like this: Mike and Lynn, thank you for all your hospitality and friendship over the past 21 years. My life is better because of you both. I miss you guys. Love you, Craig. Now, I don't know about you. My wife and I just came out of a month of having 40 people staying in our house, and then he comes along. All we had was one day to change the bedding to put them in our guest room. It's amazing if we go out of our way to make somebody else happy, because Mike and Lynn are happier than can be, and he is happier than he can be. He went up to the Super Bowl, and he calls me from the Super Bowl. And as soon as he gets home, he calls me. It takes only a little more to make a lot more good things happen. And it only takes a little bad to spread and become big bad. It's all an attitude of the mind. It's having Jesus in your life. Start your day every day saying, God, make me something that will change people's lives forever. Lord, thank you to that end. Amen.